This is the problem I have with the left. They don't know the facts. They don't care about the facts. They view morality as a blanket government stroke of the pen, and every person, regardless of their crime, should be in prison for decades.
Oh, Tim's about to get fucked.
Tell me this now. Why is Enrique Torrio in prison?
Yeah, so they uncovered with him his plot to overthrow
the plot.
Oh, now he's asking why Enrique Torrio's in prison.
No, is the fascist machine state told you he should be in prison, and you're saying yes to them. Tell me why.
No, I understand that laws on the books have been there for a long time that I agree with, that if it's proven that you had a plan and you wanted to act on it, and then days after.
What's the proof?
What's the proof?
The proof?
Say the proof.
Say the proof.
Say
communications.
Say it.
What communications? What did he say?
What is it? What is it?
Is this serious?
Are you going to tell me why Enrique Torrio should be in prison?
You loser!
Are you going to say the government decreed it?
On November 24th, 2020, Biggs, in response to a social media post calling for unity in response to the results of the presidential election, posted, "No, bitch, this is war." On November 27th, 2020, Nordine posted on social media, "We tried playing nice and by the rules. Now you will deal with the monster you created. The spirit of 1776 has resurfaced." Whoa! What happened in 1776, guys? The spirit of 1776, what happened? What happened? Guys, what happened in 1776? What happened? What was that? Does anybody know? Does anybody remember? I don't remember. Wonder what he could mean by that.
This would be that more Republicans have apologized for the violence on January 6th than Democrats, but let me get to the caveat, than Democrats who apologized for violence during BLM. Very limited. They would all say violence is bad, but the cause was...
It's the voice of the unheard, like MLK, remember?
But then I'd get to, I think it's a fair criticism to say, maybe some were too quiet about the violence. Like, none of them were out there saying this is fine.
Well, yes, they were taking a knee. They were taking a knee. Many of them, Nancy Pelosi and some Democrat leaders, and they
would show up to a peaceful protest, and then as a part of that, people would be exploited.
Maxine Waters with the whole
January 6th was originally named Stop the Steal, and now they're all like, "No, why? We weren't there to stop the steal." Yes, exactly. I've literally had numerous debates where they're like, "Bro, we don't even know why those people were there." I'm like, "Yes, we do. They were there to stop the steal. They literally were chanting it. 30,000 people fucking chanting, 'Stop the steal. Hang Mike Pence.' They were all saying it. We heard them. I don't know what you think. Like, I know that, like, in the propaganda videos that you watch, all you see is over and over them showing, the doors opening and saying that everybody was let in. And then you just see a bunch of people walking between the ropes and you're like, wow, it doesn't look all that bad. Couldn't be. That doesn't fit the definition of insurrection. They didn't even have guns." But it's not the reality of the situation. That's not how it really went. So
you have to go find them in restaurants and you have to get up in their face.
Like, that's not direct violence, but that's
encouraging.
Here's two phrases for you. Well. Respect the diversity of tactics, and snitches
bringing that up.
And snitches get stitches.
What? Okay.
No, but then Kamala Harris also was posting a bill for BLM rioters. And
oh my goodness.
Y'all are the ones supporting the politicians who say this, like Trump.
Say what?
Who justify violence.
Why did Trump justify violence?
I thought we just went through that.
We didn't. I asked you for examples, and you said, I don't know.
Squint
at me. Tell me what you
think.
think.
That is not.
No,
it's like whenever you don't have an answer, you just get confused and say, what are you talking about?
No, that is because that's not what happened, Tim. You're fucking insane if you actually think that's what happened. He literally just said that there were points where initially he was defending the police. Then at other points he's defending not defending the police. There's points where he's defending what they saying that they shouldn't have done those things to the police. Then other points where he's saying that they didn't do anything wrong. Other points where he's saying, oh, well, they might have done something wrong, but it wasn't that bad. Like, he did explain this. I don't know why he's acting like this didn't happen.
Think about.
Yeah, I'm genuinely confused.
Okay, let's try this again.
To me because I am, obviously, if
I ask you a question and you just don't answer, and then you go sophistry.
Because I only speak
ad hominem.
I only speak on. I haven't done ad hominem.
All you're doing is saying you do this, you do that, you do this. You're not actually giving me substance.
Oh no. I was saying I was just shocked that you didn't listen to my substance earlier. But So the January 6th. While I'm only going to speak on things I'm very informed on, so I'm not going to tell you exactly to the month that they should get. I do respect the fact that they were prosecuted in a court of law, and I don't think Trump to send a message to his base that what happened on January 6th was good, which is why he would do such a pardon, should be pardoning folks who were violent. Or
I think 3 years is long enough.
Yeah, and that's a wrong statement.
Long enough for what, Tim? This is actually mind-blowing. The fucking retardation that's going on here. This is actually insane. I think 3 years is enough. For what? For which crime, Tim? For which one? For planning to kill somebody, for planning to overthrow the government, for just walking inside the Capitol, yeah, sure, okay, fine, I'll admit it. If they were some of the people who just stood outside the Capitol or who walked inside the Capitol, I will say 3 years is fine. I think that's fair. I think it's fair. 3 years is fine if you were just one of the people who was just there taking part in the mob justice, okay? But for the other people who were organizers, who planned it, who had weapons on them, who had stashes of guns ready to go, who had who organized tons of people to show up, who had like blueprints of the fucking building ready to like navigate the entire thing. No, for those people, no, 3 years is not enough. I'm sorry. You don't get to try to overthrow the fucking government and just get like a slap on the wrist for it, like you just got in trouble for drug dealing. No guns? Yes, guns. Yes, guns.
Stands, okay.
How's it wrong?
I just explained it to you.
No. You didn't. You said the court process should play out the way it is. My opinion on the amount of time should be served for a crime is not just wrong because you like courts.
No, I get that.
You need to explain
I'm saying
why the time frame I'm asserting should be longer than 3 years.
No, I'm saying the default, you have to have overwhelming, compelling evidence that someone has been wronged to justify a president stepping in and saying, I'm subverting the justice system outcome. Do you agree with that premise?
No.
That's a moral.
So you're making a fascist argument.
What?
A fascist argument?
You are making the fascist argument that the hierarchical structure of government is just and should be upheld regardless.
Why? Okay, I'm not gonna.
What? Why is that fascist? That has nothing to do with fascist. What is wrong with him? I guess he's saying because, like, yeah, technically, like, fascism is supposed to be like, yeah, the people supporting the government body, them being one with the government, blah blah blah. That is only fascist if the government is fascist. It is not fascist if the government is not fascist. And that was only fascist if you have like if you're unquestioning of the entire government, then it's fascist. But to just say, oh, you actually agree with the mandatory minimums and maximums that the government currently has, therefore it's fascist. Oh, you actually came to the same logical conclusion as the government, therefore that's fascist. Like, I can't say this like enough. This is so retarded. I cannot say this enough. Like, I'm actually getting a migraine listening to this.
Ask that. This is
right. And so the system we have is
I'm just not loving, and this is a way of celebrating violence, that Trump is celebrating those as far as a pardon and in his rhetoric and in his national anthem thingy, people who attacked the Capitol. Why did they attack it? Because they believe lies about the election.
There's a variety of reasons why people were violent on January 6th. Largely that they believe the election was stolen.
Like, hey, that's bad. You don't have to keep going.
There's a large number of reasons. Bro, what the fuck? Why would you even say that? Like, what's the point? What is the point of even saying that? Like, do you think there's some major reason? Do you think there's some major explanation over here that you're just like, that people are ignoring? What's the other one? What is it that, because the FBI wanted to make Trump look bad, so they got all their fucking CIs in there?
I've called for their arrest and prosecution. Like, this is not a shock to my audience.
My reporting is responsible for the arrest of a couple of January 6th
My point is that if you've got someone on a misdemeanor charge who's been held without trial, a pardon makes perfect sense, unless you're a fascist, and the system is just. So
wait, someone who was held without trial? Who the fuck is that? Who is that? Who was held without trial? Who's held without trial? Who is this? Who's this person? Who's held without trial?
It's like Benjamin Franklin, who said it is better that 100 guilty persons escape than one innocent person suffer. You've taken the Otto von Bismarck approach of it is better that 10 innocent people suffer than one guilty person escape.
No.
Yeah. Well, okay, you have.
No,
right?
I
So
haven't.
no, stop. You don't know anything about these January 6 cases. You don't know why these people are in jail. You don't know that a man is in Brooklyn right now for 3 years without charge or trial. And when Donald Trump says these people have been held for too long, you say, no, Trump is wrong. Keep them locked up. That's fucking fascist.
Wait, that's not what he said. He said he would have to look at the cases individually. That's what he said. I don't know why this is so hard for Tim. I don't know why this is so hard for him. This is not hard. This is pretty simple. This should be everyone's answer. If anybody says, no, I'm going to make a decision on how long these people should be locked up without looking at them individually, that is a person who is ideologically motivated in their reasoning. That is a person who has fascist reasoning. This is a person who, yes, they want to go along with the betterment for their party or the betterment for their ideology, and they just want to make sure that their people have some sort of like rhetorical benefit in the end. That's it. That's all they care about. If you're not looking at these things individually, you actually do not give a fuck about the justice system or any of it being just in any meaning of the word. You just want an outcome. That's it.
Just, dude. You've been sitting here with no knowledge of the specifics of some of these cases. There is a man in Brooklyn right now. I'm
Why
gonna
is
say it
he
again,
getting so
no
heated?
charges whatsoever brought. He's been in jail for 3 fucking years. For you to sit there and say it is good that he remains locked up is fascism.
What?
That is saying the hierarchical system of the courts and the
He
government
didn't
is
say
just,
this.
and the process is all
He
that
didn't
matters.
say this.
And I am saying perhaps 3 years is enough because I actually have moral logic and an understanding of these cases. Hence, my position on January 6th has always been the people who have attacked police must.
Dude, I'm sorry, but every time I've ever reviewed Tim going over something, it's turned out he didn't know shit about it. Every single time I've ever reviewed him. We've done this maybe 4 or 5 different times where I've said Tim is one of the dumbest people on the internet, to where I can pull up any stream of his, any video of his, anything of his, and I will be able to easily find numerous things to debunk with the quickness that he just knows nothing about while sitting there speaking about it as though he is the expert, right? Like this right here, right? Like I know a lot of shit about January 6th. I know a lot of shit about the charges. I know a lot of shit about what happened that day. I've watched insane amounts of footage. I've engaged in like embarrassing amounts of like reading indictments and shit like that. But I'm not gonna act like a fucking expert on the thing and act like he is now, where he's like lording his amount of research over others, right? That's something that is odd, but especially coming from Tim Pool, who I would almost bet hasn't read any of the indictments, and he's probably not even right about these people and how long they've been sitting without trial or some shit. Like, if he's right, there's probably more reason to it. There's probably more information to it. But he just, yes, he's always quick with the fucking anecdotes of, you guys are talking, you're initially making this broad sweeping statement of, I think 3 years is enough for all of these people who have been locked up. All of these people who have been locked up, I think 3 years is enough. And then when Beasley argues with you, you move to this anecdote again. The fucking Tim Pool, like, I don't know what to call it. Like the Tim Pool wild card or some shit. Like, it's just always going to go. Every time he's going to move to the anecdotes. Every time. Without fail, he's gonna move to the fucking anecdotes. That's all he ever has.
Must go to prison. But 3 years is a fucking long time for assault on an officer. We have seen people on the far left, notably when they were firebombing shit all across Minnesota, 33 people murdered. And how many criminal charges did we get for this? When they firebombed a police station and forced the police to evacuate. On May 29th, 2020, when thousands of far leftists firebombed the White House grounds and set fire to St. John's Church and injured 100.
There weren't thousands there. There weren't thousands there. I'm not even going to bother pulling this up. There were not thousands there.
Police officers. How many fucking people went to prison for 3 years? How many of them who never showed up on that day are in prison for 20 years? Enrique Torrio wasn't even in D.C. on January 6th. And you are saying that man who only...
Tom is all talk. He can't back up jack shit of what he says. Dude, where's my curve? Why don't you come on? We'll plan a whole debate of it. Let's schedule it for tomorrow. Tomorrow, 8 p.m. Eastern time. Is that good? Or give me a time. I'll show up whatever time you want. We will sit and slowly go over all of the indictments, all of the data, all of the footage. Dude, where's my curve? You and me, homie. If you are the knower, if you're the one who knows, then you're the one who I need to be talking to. Where'd he go? Why do they always disappear so quickly? What happened? Why does this always happen to me? I chase everybody off. I just want a friend. Do it now, Tom. Prove this guy hasn't been locked up for 3 years without trial. Wait, prove this guy hasn't been locked up for 3 years without trial. Why would I prove that? I didn't say that. Why are you telling me to prove something I didn't say? You just a second ago were saying I don't know shit about what I'm talking about, that I blah, blah, blah. And now you're telling me to prove something that I never stated? What the fuck? Why? Why are you telling me?
His only crime was, quote, don't leave. That's his only crime. You think he should be in prison for 20 years because you're a fascist. You don't care what the facts are. You don't care if this is unjust. You only care that the machine state has decreed you are not to be locked up. And this is the problem I have with the left. They don't know the facts. They don't care about the facts. They view morality as a blanket government stroke of the pen. And every person, regardless of their crime, should be in prison for decades.
Oh, Tim's about to get fucked. Tim is about to get fucked in the ass, dude. He is about to get so fucked, dude. Luke, do not let me down, you little soy fucking bitch. Do not let me down right now. Fuck this bitch in the ass. Have him me too you after this shit.
Reject it outright. The people who fought cops should go to prison. They did. It's been 3 years. But when you've got people who are on misdemeanor charges for having walked into a building at 4 p.m. after the riot, and I know some of these people, they walked into a building for 2 minutes and walked out, and they got 18 months for that. I don't see you defending the innocent people who walked onto a public grass at a public building after a riot had been completed. You don't know. You don't care. You've taken a tribal position, and people are suffering.
Are you going to shut up?
Now you say that Donald Trump saying the injustice that we've seen warrants commutation or pardons. You say that means.
This is such an odd grandstand when he didn't even ask Beasley about any of this stuff. He didn't ask him about any of this shit. He didn't ask him about one piece of this. Everybody take a second, hit the thumbs up button. Appreciate y'all joining. Take a second, hit the thumbs up button.
Means is advocating for violence. This is the ultimate problem. Then you cite a press release.
Is the host gay or does he just like fucking asses? Neither. I just like rape. I just like other people getting raped.
Maryland saying, but the right's more violent. There is a distinction between a white supremacist as a right-wing group and a run-of-the-mill Christian conservative who showed up on that day not to protest. Let's talk about Brandon Strzok. He never went in the building. He was on the other side of the building. There was a permitted protest.
Is it? Stop crying, Tom. As you have Tim sitting here doing this right now, right next to me, on screen, you're telling me, as I'm sitting here laughing and smiling, to stop crying. This is true. This is true. I need to stop crying. I did not become the fucking #1 sneckin' Slither player in the world by being a fucking crybaby. All right? I did not become a professional Slitherer by being a fucking baby back bitch.
He walked up the stairs and he was yelling. They put this guy in prison. There is Owen Schroyer, who was at a permitted rally, who was yelling death to communists. They put him in prison and specifically cited his speech. My dude, you don't know what you're talking about. And it's fine. I get it. We try to be polite. We try to be nice.
You don't know what you're talking about random things that he never said anything about. Again, back to an anecdote that's totally irrelevant to the whole thing. Just back to the talking points. Bot fucking talking points. Just go back to being an NPC again.
But there are so many young liberals who sit here and say, the corporate press told me that these people are bad, and the machine state government has decreed it by pen. So I don't care what crime they committed. I don't care what the jury said. I don't care who was on the jury. Enrique Torrio, who was not there, should be in prison for 2 decades. Tell me this now. Why is Enrique Torrio in prison?
Yeah, so they uncovered with him his plot to overthrow the
plot.
Now he's asking why Enrique Torrio's in prison. Now you want to ask, after you did your whole freaking grandstand that you can clip and put all over Twitter and crap. Now you want to ask why Enrique Torrio isn't locked up. Why didn't you ask that before doing your grandstand? Why didn't you ask him that before you did that? What the hell? What is wrong with you? What is wrong with this guy?
Enrique Torrio?
Yeah, and his organization.
What plot? Who's they? Give me some
prosecutors.
Give me some fucking data. Stop squinting at me and saying the prosecutors did a thing. You didn't know. You didn't read it. You didn't read the court papers. All you know.
Bro, oh my goodness. Oh my goodness, this is embarrassing. Luke, fuck this bitch. Fuck him in the ass. Hard. I know what happened. I read the fucking papers. I have the data. He had hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of encrypted messages in chat groups where he was telling everybody where to be, what time to be there, what weapons to bring, what to do once you get inside, how to get in there, where you're going to go, where to meet ahead of time. He had tons of posts on on post forums, message forums, chat forums. He had tons of messages on forums. He had tons of DMs with people, emails with people. There's hundreds and hundreds of these that are never freaking ending. There is an insane amount of evidence against Enrique Torrio for planning the entire thing, which is what I said earlier when I said some loser in chat is going to say, well, he wasn't even there, as a totally irrelevant talking point because he got in trouble for planning the entire fucking thing. So he didn't have to be there to plan the entire fucking thing. And then that loser immediately said, but he wasn't even there. It's true. You don't even know the facts. I promise. Look it up. He wasn't there. He got in trouble for planning it, bitch. Not for being there. He got charged with seditious conspiracy. And he pled innocent. And he was tried before a jury of his peers. And he was found guilty and convicted. Thank you very much. Fuck him in the ass, Luke. You gay little fucking Gen Zer. Use that sassiness, that lispy fucking mouth of yours, and loosen him up.
No, is the fascist machine state told you he should be in prison, and you're saying yes to them. Tell me why.
No, I understand that laws on the books have been there for a long time that I agree with, that if it's proven that you had a plan and you wanted to act on it, and then days after.
What's the proof?
What's the proof?
The proof is
say the proof.
Say the proof.
Say it.
Communications.
Say it.
Between
What communications? What did he say?
What is it? What is
Are
it?
you? Is this serious?
Are you going to tell me why you
Tell
think
him!
Enrique Torrio should be in prison?
You
Or
loser!
are you going to say the government decreed it?
Fuck
just
him!
Explain to you.
So the government said so. Is that it?
It's usually
The government said so.
which I guess is part of the government.
Government said so?
Yep.
So
Law
you can't
enforcement
say
that uncovers evidence of communications, a memo that he crafted and sent to
Fuck,
his organization
I like that.
that detailed each institution of government that they were going to try to overthrow. Then just days later, his organization.
Oh, wait, what? Oh. So you're just saying, so an indictment said so? Did you see him do that? Did you see him write those text messages? No, you didn't, did you? You don't even know what you're talking about, Luke. You didn't even look at the data. Come on. The data is, I know the data. Everybody else, we all know the data because we did our research. The data is that this one time, this leftist went in to a freaking mayor's house and firebombed the entire thing in 1962. And you didn't even know that because you don't do your freaking research, Luke.
Station is at the Capitol.
Wait,
I don't think we can even pull up Enrique Torrio.
is he typing
I'm not
right
quite
now?
sure that there's any evidence of that.
Is he typing right now? Did he just pull up a fucking Wikipedia? No! 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 I hate them so much. How about the indictment itself? Let's just. Oh wow. Oh, so there's him. The violations. I don't even think that we can look at Enrique Torrio stuff. I don't even think. Yeah, it's not even out there. That stuff's top secret, dude. They don't let us see indictments. That's no. Oh, Enrique Torrio. No. I'm pretty sure the indictment said because he's a bitch on the right is what it said. Where it said we don't like him because he voted for Trump. That was according to the CIs who arrested him. The 2020 United States presidential election occurred on November 3rd, 2020. As of November 7th, 2020, the incumbent president, J. Trump, was projected to have lost the presidential election. Wow. Well, this is already a biased source. I can tell this is already a biased source. They're saying that Donald Trump lost the election. Dominic Pizzola, also known as Spaz, also known as Spazzo, also known as Spazzolini, is a 44-year-old resident of Rochester, New York, and a member of his local chapter in the Proud Boys. From at least in around November 2020, Torrio used his platform as the leader of the Proud Boys to publicly post statements in response to the projected results of the 2020 presidential election. On November 6, 2020, Torrio posted a message that read, "The media constantly accuses us of wanting to start a civil war. Careful what the fuck you ask for. We don't want to start one, but we will sure as fuck finish one." Wow, that doesn't, no, that's probably taken out of context, guys. That was probably, don't believe it. This is the fucking, indictments are the mainstream media. Indictments are written by the mainstream media. Don't believe them. On November 12th, 2020, Torrio posted a message that read, "Fuck unity, no quarter, raise the black flag." No, that's from a video game, Black Flag. That's what he was talking about. That's not a form of revolt. That's on November 16th, 2020, Torrio posted a message that read, "If Biden steals this election, the Proud Boys will be political prisoners. We won't go quietly, I promise." On November 25th, 2020, Torrio reposted a social media post by Joe Biden that stated, "We need to remember we're at war with a virus, not with each other." Torrio then posted, "No, you need to remember the American people are at war with you. No Trump, no peace, no quarter, baby." Then 14, from at least in or around November 2020, Nordine Biggs and Rail used their platform as regional leaders of the Proud Boys to publicly post statements in response to the projected results of the 2020 presidential election. On November 5th, 2020, Biggs posted on social media, "It's time for fucking war if they steal this shit," referring to the presidential election. On November 24th, 2020, Biggs, in response to a social media post calling for unity in response to the results of the presidential election, posted, "No, bitch, this is war." On November 27th, 2020, Nordine posted on social media, "We tried playing nice and by the rules. Now you will deal with the monster you created. The spirit of 1776 has resurfaced." Whoa! What happened in 1776, guys? Whoa! The monster of 1776! What is that? Or the spirit of 1776? What happened? What happened? Guys, what happened in 1776? What happened then? What was that? Does anybody know? Does anybody remember? I don't remember. Hey, BJ Sal 916. Do you remember? Where's the dude, where's my car guy? What about you? Do you remember 1776? Anybody? Nobody remembers? Man, shit. Can somebody Google it for me? Or can, So the spirit of 1776 has resurfaced and has created groups like the Proud Boys, and we will not be extinguished. We will grow like the flame that fuels us and spread like love that guides us. We are unstoppable, unrelenting, and now unforgiving. Good luck to all you traitors of this country we so deeply love. You're going to need it. Sheesh, he probably meant that, like, not like a threat or anything. The founding of the Declaration of Independence. Oh shit, so that was like a full-on revolutionary war, right? Huh. It's interesting that that's what he's referencing. I wonder what he could mean by that. I wonder what he could mean by that. On November 27th, 2020, Rail posted on social media, "Hopefully firing squads are for the traitors that are trying to steal the election from the American people." Firing squads on December 12th, 2020, that guy is a lefty, obviously, right? Because he keeps saying things that are violent, right? And right-wingers don't do that. Right-wingers don't ever do that. So this makes him a lefty. It's almost like we should have had guns on January 6th. Oh, you should go read the indictment for the Oath Keepers. Go read the indictment for the Oath Keepers if you were unaware of the guns that they were supposed to have. There were actually 25% of the people who were arrested had fucking weapons. On December 12th, 2020, Torrio and other members of the Proud Boys attended an election-related rally, sometimes referred to as a Million MAGA rally in Washington, D.C., The December 12th rally was organized as a protest of the presidential election, and the date of the protest coincided with the certification of the Electoral College, resulting in each of the 50 states. While in Washington, D.C. on December 12, 2020, several Proud Boys were involved in an altercation in which Proud Boys members were injured, including a knife wound suffered by one person. It was probably Antifa who did it to him. Didn't the left push this nonsense of a war in Ukraine? That's a lot of deaths. No, Russia did. What? Do you think the left saying, "Hey, we support self-defense," is them pushing the war? You think it's their fault saying, "We support you guys in engaging in self-defense"? Does that mean that it's like the right's fault that Kyle Rittenhouse engaged in self-defense as well? Like, where's the fucking logic here? On December 17th, 2020, Torrio posted a message on social media which he admitted that he was is Mantis just having like a spaz attack, or she's going all out? Let's fucking go. Base. Posted a message on social media in which he admitted that he was a person responsible for the burning of the banner. Torrio claimed that he took action because he would not stand by and watch them burn another city. Torrio ended his message by stating, "Come get me if you feel like what I did was wrong. We'll let the public decide." So yeah, so there's like literally tons and tons and tons of evidence against Torrio. Purpose of the conspiracy. The purpose of the conspiracy was to stop, delay, and hinder the certification of the Electoral College vote. This is literally stated. So where you guys are like, we don't know why they were there. Well, Torrio did know why they were there, and his indictment knows why they were there, and they state why they were there. So while you guys don't know anything about this stuff, you just haven't looked into it, you're just totally unaware, and you think nobody really knows, we all know. The people who have ever looked into this know. The people who watched the videos from January 6th, we all know. We heard 30,000 people chanting, "Stop the steal, hang Mike Pence." We heard it all. So we're all aware. Encouraging members of the Proud Boys and others to attend the Stop the Steal protest in Washington, D.C. on January 6th. What was that? What's the Stop the Steal protest? Does anybody know what that is? Where has anybody ever heard of that? MW with the 5 gifted memberships. Let's freaking go. Another gifted membership by 00 Govan. Nice, Todd Pemper. Another gifted membership. Let's freaking go. Freaking wicked. 5 more gifted memberships. Let's go. Thank you guys. Appreciate it. Using websites and social media and other electronic communications to raise funds to support travel and equipment purchases for the trip to Washington, D.C. Obtaining paramilitary gear and supplies, including concealed tactical vests, protective equipment, and radio equipment for the January 6th attack. Dressing incognito on January 6th rather than wearing Proud Boys colors that had been prominently displayed at previous events. Traveling to Washington, D.C. prior to January 6th attack, engaging in meetings and encrypted communications in Washington, D.C. in the days leading up to the January 6th attack, and the morning of January 6th to plan for the January 6th attack. Using programmable handheld radios, encrypted messaging applications, and other communications equipment to communicate and coordinate the January 6th attack. Directing, mobilizing, and leading members of the crowd onto Capitol grounds and into the Capitol. But he wasn't there, though. Even though he was directing everybody off the campus, telling everyone where to go, telling them what to do, telling them, he wasn't there, though. So, wasn't an insurrection, was more like a tour. You are the fucking idiot that I keep mentioning that's only seen the videos of them opening one door and only one video of them walking between ropes. But do you know? It's actually crazy. So they weren't just walking between the ropes. There's tons of other videos of them in tons of other rooms. But there's one video of them walking between the ropes. And the reason is because they had to go down from this room to that room in order to get to where the Congress members were. So they were all flooding down from this room to that room, which was a straight shot, which just so happened to be between the ropes. You guys act like, oh my goodness, look, they're fucking walking between the ropes, dude. It's pretty much like a tour, bro. They're all running straight towards the freaking chambers where all of the congressmen are currently in session. Your boy, Roy Boy, like a fucking woman, immediately falling to the ad homs because he's too emotional and doesn't like a masculine man sitting up here owning everyone's asses in fucking Slither and talking down to him like the dumb fuck that he is, defending January 6th, the treasonous bullshit that it is. But to stop being a soy boy, I had to become a fucking terrorist sympathizer. I promise you, I would rather be a fucking soy boy. I would take soy boy over fucking traitorous terrorist sympathizer any day, because I love me some America.
Sort.
Yeah. You know what? I'll say this. The idea that Enrique Torrio...
So remember, we can't. Oh, I don't even think we can look at Enrique Torrio stuff. I don't even think we can do that.
I don't think we can even pull up Enrique Torrio.
I don't even think we can pull it up. Yeah, I don't even. There's not even evidence of that. No, we don't even.
Yeah.
No evidence
I'll
of
say
that
this.
Sort. Let's go to
the
Wikipedia.
idea that Enrique Torrio crafted a memo outlining, or they 3 months featured witness evidence issued to Torrio and co-defense included videos, thousands of messages in encrypted chat groups, as well as a public message on Parler. On or before January 6th, Torrio to convene a Ministry of
Tom,
Self-Defense.
if it's wrong, it's you. No. If it's a fucking Slither champion, it's me, motherfucker.
To coordinate Proud Boys' leadership on January 6th. The chat showed that Torrio, stationed in Baltimore, encouraged the Proud Boys as they attacked the Capitol. Let's figure out what that encouragement was. Are they going to actually say in the article? So here's a citation. Proud Boy and 3 other members of the far right groups were convicted Thursday and applied to attack the Capitol. A jury in Washington, D.C. found Torrio and 3 lieutenants guilty of seditious conspiracy after hearing dozens of witnesses. Jurors cleared a 5th defendant, Dominic Pizzola, on a citizen charge and a significant milestone of the Justice Department, which is now secured conspiracy, blah, blah, blah. They will never...
What's the definition of terrorist? This is generally engaging in violent acts or threatening violence for some sort of political or religious aims.
Stop. Okay, that's interesting. Wikipedia asserts that they did this, but there's actually nothing in the news article that actually states that is true. Well, now we got a problem. Let's try this again. Let's try a secondary source. Let's see. There it is. They introduced evidence that Torrio discussed with associates a plan to have a large crowd in Washington storm government buildings in a scheme they called 1776 returns, in which the Winter Palace was used as an apparent code for the U.S. Capitol. In a message, he said, make no mistake, we did this. Do what must be done. And he directed the Proud Boys to do it again. So the question then becomes, in the bigger picture...
So are you going to at all acknowledge that you just blew up over something that I was absolutely citing fairly?
True. Thank you for bringing it back to that. Thank you for... I totally forgot that happened. Thank you, Luke.
I don't think you said it fairly.
What? That's what he said. Everything I just read is what he said.
I think people should be prosecuted for engaging in plans to overthrow our government. That's
a very loose definition of plans to overthrow the government.
Y'all don't seem to be that informed.
Wait, Luke, respectfully, I cover a lot of protests and riots. A lot of people try to protest and riot and occupy government buildings.
Yeah. I've seen it so many times, and they never get charged, and nobody. They're not locked up for 3 years without trials. So,
do you think that qualifies as trying to overthrow your government?
No.
Okay, good. So I mean,
but if they had a plan to take control of the government, which was this one.
If this was an actual plan, this was the most
over the government?
ridiculous plan ever. They went after people for having Lego sets of the Capitol. Yeah. I mean,
they went after people for having Lego sets at the Capitol. You guys, just so you guys know, you're on their side. This is whose side you're on. You have a violent attack on the Capitol with over 30,000 people there, and this guy is saying that they went after someone for having Legos at the Capitol. This is your side. This is your people.
The level of political prosecution, would you even admit that there was some level of politics when it came to the prosecution of the J6ers? Would you say politics played a role in this?
Engaging with this as thoughtfully as possible, not trying to grandstand. Of course, often, for very justifiable reasons, prosecutors will try to make an example of someone who, for example, tried to overthrow the government to prevent the peaceful transfer of power. I see why such a thing.
Personally, I reject
Had
it.
a-
Again, they literally say they're trying to overthrow the government. This is what everybody does, is instead of engaging with the fact that they say that they're literally trying to overthrow the government, instead of engaging with the fact that they literally make plans to overthrow the government, instead of engaging with the fact that they literally talk about how they are going to stop the execution of certifying the election, instead of talking about any of that, they'll say, well, they did a really poor job of it. Okay, if somebody tries to shoot at my head and misses, I don't stand there afterwards and like, you know what? Not even that big of a deal, dude. You kind of suck at shooting, so whatever. Who gives a fuck? You know? Let's forget about it. You're good.
Categorized
That is
as
trying to
sedition
overthrow the government.
would be uniquely bad to prosecutors. And political.
Our side says the election was BS. Yeah, I know. It's because your side is a bunch of fucking retards. You guys are the dumbest motherfuckers of all time. You guys are cultists. You've been duped by the dumbest person you could possibly be duped by. I can't imagine being duped by Donald Trump. Like, truly, I cannot imagine falling for anything that guy ever has to say. But you guys did. You guys did. And it's the even funnier thing about it is that his lawyers, who were the ones who came out and told you guys about all the evidence and all of the conspiracies that were happening, right? His lawyers already admitted that they were lying to you. They already admitted that they were trying to overthrow the government themselves. They've already admitted that they took part in trying to overthrow the government as within the electoral college process. They've already admitted to this. They've already been convicted. They've literally been convicted. They literally pled guilty. And they've literally agreed to testify against Donald Trump in their fucking cases. His lawyers are traitors. Yes, they're all traitors, right? And so are the fucking 20 other people who worked with Donald Trump inside of his Oval Office and inside of his cabinet, who all came out saying that he was a racist and a fascist and that he was a danger to democracy and that he always praised people like Hitler and said he needed generals like Hitler's and praised all sorts of other authoritarian leaders. You know, all of the other 200 Republican officials who all came out and endorsed Kamala because they said that Donald Trump was a danger to democracy. You guys have a literally never-ending line of cope. And so this is what, like, when we're talking about cultists, right? When we're talking about dogmatism, when we're talking about people who are unwilling to engage in facts, they're unwilling to engage in logic, they're unwilling to engage in any sort of institutional program that will make sense of things. You retards, are unwilling to relent and engage in thought processes. And I don't even have to like blow it up to like logical formulas or like premise, conclusion, academia, anything like that. I don't even have to, it doesn't even, no, thought. You guys are unwilling to even engage in thought. Donald Trump just tells you what to think and you just think it. You don't even go through a thought process. You just think whatever he tells you. You go with your NPC bot programming. Do exactly as daddy tells you to. Yes, daddy. Spank me harder, please, daddy. And then you move forward without any sort of logic, any sort of evidence. And then even as they continue to tell you that they lied to you, they tell you over and over that they lied to you, they can literally tell you that they lied to you, and you will still sit there. No, I think it was stolen from us. Yeah, I think it was stolen from us. I actually don't like that election. That election was not fun for me, so I don't think I like that one. So I think I'm gonna run into the Capitol this time.